Hello students, welcome once again. I hope you all are well and are preparing for your exams, concentrating more on your studies nowadays. Today let us discuss about the nutrition part in the light processes. So nutrition, as you all know, is mainly of two types, autotrophic and heterotrophic. In autotrophic nutrition, organisms prepare their food on their own, which are mainly the green plants and some green bacteria which are preparing their food. And heterotrophs are organisms which utilize the complex organic compounds to break them into smaller parts to release energy for maintenance and growth of the body. So the process of photosynthesis by which the green plants prepare their food is the most important process which is happening in living organisms. Because by this process only plants are preparing their food from carbon dioxide and water in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. So, the process of photosynthesis we have to understand very well. This process takes place in two phases. One is the light phase and another is the dark phase. So, light phase is also known as light dependent phase because it is dependent on light. It happens only in the presence of light. It is also known as Hill's reaction because Robert Hill was the first to find that photosynthesis actually takes place in the chloroplasts, which are there on the leaves, and chloroplasts are containing the green pigment which is chlorophyll, which is very important for photosynthesis. So, in the light phase, what is actually happening? Chlorophyll is getting activated due to sunlight and it absorbs light and splits or breaks water into oxygen, hydrogen, and some electrons are also released. This process is known as photolysis. Now oxygen is free, oxygen is released as a molecular oxygen. Hydrogen released is combining with a reducing agent which is a compound, that is NADP. NADP means nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate, which is a reducing agent. Now hydrogen released is combining with this NADP and becomes NADPH. And these electrons released help in the conversion of ADP into ATP, adenosine diphosphate into adenosine triphosphate. This is the source of energy. So these two, that is NADPH and your ATP, help in the conversion of CO2 into glucose. Reduction of CO2, you can say, into glucose. And in the second phase, which is the dark phase, it is not dependent on light, so it is also called light independent phase and is also known as Calvin's cycle because Melvin Calvin was the first to publish the complex reactions which take place in the conversion of CO2 into glucose. So what is happening in this phase? The NADPH and the ATP which are released or which are produced in the light phase are now are used to form glucose by reducing carbon dioxide. So there are many complex reactions in this. So ultimately glucose is formed and it is stored as starch. So this is also happening in this phase, conversion of glucose into starch, stored as starch. So these two phases, students, you have to remember, light phase and dark phase in photosynthesis. And then talking about the significance of photosynthesis, it is the most important process in living beings, as I said earlier, because it is the only source, natural source, it is the only natural source of oxygen, which is the life support for everybody. Because by the process of photosynthesis, oxygen is released as a byproduct. So that is the only natural source of oxygen. And second significance is that plants, since they can make their food, prepare their food, they are autotrophs and they are the producers, and a food chain is established and maintained because of these producers only. All others are consumers. So the plants are producers. If they are eaten by some herbivores, the herbivores are eaten by carnivores. So this food chain is maintained. So these are the two great significances of photosynthesis, students, that you have to learn. So I end by this topic here. We'll come with some other important topics in my next videos. Till then, goodbye and wish you all the best. Thank you very much.